Right now, you can see right behind me the mountain of wreckage right there. About 70 to 100 people is what the official figures are there that are trapped under that mountain of wreckage. But many people are saying it could be way more than that, because this was an under construction building right there and it is totally demolished right now. It was a 30-story building. It collapsed soon after the strong tremor struck. And I have with me Keith here, who is a tourist here all the way from Scotland. I will request Rohit to show Keith here. So he was here on a holiday, and so he was stuck here, but he captured a rare video of the building falling. And you can see right behind me some new cranes are being brought here. I spoke to an expert earlier today. He said that many of these cranes will be brought here today to aid in this operation, to rescue the people there, because this wreckage needs to be removed so that people can be pulled out, and that's what the main job here is. So let's go and speak with Keith here. So Keith was here when this happened, and he witnessed it firsthand. So can you tell us, Keith, what happened exactly yesterday?
Yeah, I was actually in the fish market about 100 meters, 100 meters from the building, and there was a lot of commotion inside. The Thai shopkeepers, their voices were raising, they were getting very vocal, and they started to run. And one said, "There's an earthquake, you need to leave." And so I came outside onto the main road there, and it was just, people were like looking in the sky, pointing. And I noticed the crane on top of the building that's now collapsed was swaying. So I pulled out my camera, I took a video, and literally 20 seconds later, it just fell to the ground like a deck of cards.
But you are still here. Was that moment scary for you? What did you think exactly in that moment? And yeah,
I was more shocked, not scary. It was more, what is happening? You know, I was in a fish market to buy some solution for my aquarium and watch a building
now
collapse.
You've come back here. So can you tell the viewers, now that you're back here, what you're witnessing is, did you expect something like this? Did you expect so many people to be trapped here?
I mean, obviously, watching it yesterday, I watched my video back and I was counting how many stories it was. And I thought, yeah, this is obviously going to be a massive rescue operation today. I've seen Europeans with their sniffer dogs here. So it's obviously quite an international effort for help. So, and as you can see behind, it's a very big job.
As you can see, that green crane, from the morning at least 2 to 3 of these green colored cranes have been brought in. So these will be the ones that will remove that mountain of wreckage right in front of you. Underneath that, thousands of steel of wreckage and concrete, all of that will have to be removed to aid in that operation. So far, since the morning, no one has been pulled out of the wreckage. Some people were rescued yesterday. Most of them were construction workers. And this morning, I spoke to a few rescue operators. They were saying that one person was located and he is seemingly alive. But he's not been pulled out because he's entrapped in the whole wreckage. A sniffer dog was used to locate him. So similar operations are going on. Many robots have been brought in, small robots have been brought in, and many technicians are coming in with their own expertise, and many drones have been used. Sniffer dogs have been used to locate people who are trapped inside. And it's really hot and humid here right now. So you can imagine what kind of temperature would be there for people who are stuck inside that rubble. So to mitigate that, the authorities here are sprinkling water on that wreckage so that it should bring some kind of coolness to the people who are stuck inside that rubble and waiting to be rescued. It's a very grim scenario right here, but it's quite opposite to the other side of Bangkok. If you look at the end of the road, it's quite normal there. People are moving around, tourists are coming in. Most of Bangkok is quite normal. It's jumping back to life. But this road paints a very grim picture. It's surrounded by swarming with rescue operation people, media personnel. Normal folks are not being allowed right now because they could hinder the operations. So that is what is the latest. It's still ongoing. Lot needs to be done. there's a mountain of rubble there that needs to be removed for the people to be rescued.
Absolutely, Vishal. Like you mentioned, it is a race against time at this point because there is a lack of oxygen, a lack of ventilation, like you said, and extreme heat under that debris. And we're expecting that at least 90 people would perhaps be trapped under the debris. So also take us through the number of rescue officials that have been deployed. You did mention that there was some technology that was being used, like drones and robots. Not just that, but sniffer dogs as well, you mentioned, are being used at this point.
Yeah, so different types of rescue operational personnel are here. I spotted at least 4 different teams that have been working round the clock to rescue the people. At the same time, there are more number of volunteers who have come in from across Thailand to help in this operation to rescue people. And since it is really hot, the people who are coming in for the rescue efforts, they also need to be taken care of. So there are people distributing in the distance. If Rohit can point to the people distributing water there. So water is being distributed for people who are standing here. Fresh towels are being distributed because it's really hot and humid here. So people are doing all they can to rescue the people and take care of the people who are, aiding in this operation. But all of that boils down to, hope and courage, whether they will actually be able to save about 90 to 100 people who are still stuck inside.
Absolutely, Vishal. Like you mentioned, it's quite interesting how the community has come together. Although the rest of Bangkok seems to have returned to normal and going about their day, there are volunteers, like you mentioned, in and around. If you could just pan around and show us. I think there was a tent behind you as well, with workers having set up for food and water, like you mentioned, to distribute to the rescue workers and the officials there.
Yeah, so you can see in the distance there are the main volunteers and personnel who are coordinating with different teams. There are at least 5-6 teams here that are coordinating closely for this rescue operation. And then on the other hand, right behind our cameraman is another team that is aiding in this operation. A team of volunteers wearing all red. They have been here since the morning. They also have been going inside and trying to help the people. You can see they are wearing protective armor so that they can also be protected against falling debris, because in a situation like this, falling debris is a huge problem. So the authorities need to ensure that people who are going in for the rescue operation, they are also protected. They don't end up getting stuck inside. So they are doing all they can to make this a smooth affair, but this is far from smooth because a situation like this cannot be controlled in a few hours. This will need some time. There's a mountain of rubble there that needs to be removed, and the authorities are doing all they can. So it's a wait and watch game right now.
Right, and Vishal, as far as the Thailand government is concerned, has there been any statements made as far as this mishap, but not just that, but the aftermath in other areas of Thailand as well?
Yeah, so ever since the main earthquake struck yesterday in Myanmar, 7.7, then that 12 minutes later another earthquake followed, 6.4 magnitude. And ever since then, there have been, this is what the authorities have been saying, that there have been at least 80 instances of small or big aftershocks. So you can see how big of a disaster this is. Thailand has not been affected that much. Only this tragedy has occurred in whole of Thailand. But on the other hand, the neighboring country of Myanmar, one city, the second biggest city in Myanmar, has almost been flattened. Reports are coming in every half hour that put the death toll to about 1,000 now. That has to be confirmed. But originally the death toll was only around 150 about 3 hours ago. But now it has almost jumped to about 1,000 people already being killed. So Myanmar has bore the brunt of the tragedy. It remains to be seen what kind of operations they are going on, because it's a poor country. We've been saying that it's not equipped to handle a disaster of this magnitude. It's riddled with problems of its own from the past, from the recent past. To add to that tragedy of this proportions, so it's a total mess out there, and many countries will have to come together to help Myanmar, because Thailand is a developing nation, Bangkok is a developed area. Myanmar, on the other hand, as I've been saying, is quite poor. China has sent some relief material. India has sent 15 tons of relief material and also sent some rescue personnel there. This morning, India sent some people there. So all of that has been happening on the other side of the border. And here, as you can see, the crane right now is being let down the path so that it can go near the rubble and clear it. Like it's almost like a mountain now. You can see it's almost like 40 to 50 feet high. It's the rubble itself is almost 4-story high. So you can imagine how big this building would have been, and it has fallen to the ground, and people are stuck there, and the rescue operations are still going on.